Think summer is tough with no AC or dryer? Try living like the Amish. No fans, no machines, and no cool air from vents. Just old school tricks passed down for generations. While most people blast the air conditioner or toss wet clothes into a dryer, the Amish do things differently, and they make it work. Their homes stay cool, their clothes still get dry, and they do it all without using a single bit of electricity. In a world full of shortcuts, the Amish stay smart by going back to basics. These aren't just survival tips. They're skills that make summer easier, cheaper, and way more natural. Step into a world where basements aren't just dark storage spots, they're natural refrigerators. The Amish build special underground cold rooms right beneath their homes or barns. These aren't high-tech or fancy, they're just smart. Picture a small room dug deep into the earth, its walls lined with stone or brick. The ground naturally stays cooler than the air above, especially during the summer. Even when it's burning hot outside, this space stays chill. No fans, no ice packs, just earth doing what it does best. The Amish store things like milk, cheese, butter, and even meats here, and they last way longer than they would in a warm kitchen. Some families even keep cooked meals or canned goods inside these rooms. It's cool, quiet, and steady, exactly what food needs. In a time when everyone relies on freezers and fridges, the Amish prove that with the right knowledge, the ground below your feet can do the job just as well, without using one single watt of power. Dryers make things fast, but they also use tons of energy, and they're not always gentle on clothes. The Amish have a smarter way, and it starts with looking up. Inside their barns, way up in the lofts, they stretch long lines of sturdy rope from beam to beam. This is where clothes go to dry. Why? Because heat rises. Even on a warm day, the top of the barn catches more heat than the bottom, and that makes drying faster. There's also shade, which protects the clothes from direct sunlight that can fade colors or shrink fabrics. And because barns usually have wide doors or vents, air flows through naturally, speeding things up. Some families even plan their laundry days based on the weather and barn temperature. Instead of over-drying or shrinking their clothes, they let nature handle it, softly and slowly. It's gentle on fabric, kind to the planet, and totally free. Just rope, space, and smart timing. That's the Amish way. There's nothing fun about working in a garden under a blazing sun. But the Amish have found a clever way to stay cool while tending crops, all without needing umbrellas, hats, or sunscreen. They build shade right into their garden paths. As they plant, they think ahead. Tall plants like corn, sunflowers, or climbing beans are placed along the edges of walkways. Once these grow tall and full, they cast long shadows over the paths. That means as families walk, pull weeds, or harvest vegetables, they stay partly shaded the entire time. It's smart design with zero gadgets involved. These shady trails don't just protect people, they also help the soil keep moisture longer, which means less watering and better plant health. It's a win-win, cooler workers and stronger gardens. Even younger kids helping out in the fields get to walk through these cool green tunnels of shade. Nature becomes both a tool and a helper, and all it takes is planting in the right spot. Hot days and hard work go hand in hand for the Amish, especially during summer. After hours spent in the garden, barn, or fields, bodies overheat, but instead of jumping into a pool or blasting cold air, they turn to something simple, a cooling foot soak. Imagine a wooden tub filled with fresh, cold water pulled straight from a well. After chores are done, everyone takes turns dipping their feet in. It may sound small, but it's powerful. Cooling the feet helps lower body temperature fast, since there are many blood vessels there. The result? A calm, cooling effect that spreads all through the body. The tubs are usually placed in a shaded spot, maybe under a big tree or on a porch, where people can sit quietly and unwind. Sometimes mint leaves are tossed in to boost the chill. It's not flashy, but it works like magic. No ice packs, no machines, just water, wood, and the wisdom of slowing down. Sleeping in the summer heat isn't easy, especially without fans or air conditioning, but the Amish have a trick that's been used for centuries: straw-filled bed toppers. In the warmer months, they place tightly packed layers of straw on top of their mattresses. It might sound strange, but straw is surprisingly smart. It doesn't trap heat like foam or fabric. Instead, it lets air flow through, which keeps the bed cooler during hot nights. It also dries out quickly if there's any sweat, so the surface stays fresh and dry. The toppers are usually made with a cotton or linen cover, stuffed with clean, dry straw, and sewn shut to hold everything in place. Some families even change the straw every few weeks to keep it extra comfortable. This simple switch turns an ordinary bed into a natural cooling pad. No wires, no buzzing fans, just straw and a little stitching. It's light, breathable, and totally quiet, helping the whole house sleep better when the air outside won't quit. In an Amish home, the layout of the house isn't just about looks, it's about staying smart with nature. One quiet trick they use is placing bedrooms on the north side of the house. Why? Because the north side gets the least sunlight during the day. While the south side heats up fast and stays hot, the north stays cooler, darker, and more stable in temperature. That makes it the perfect place to sleep when summer hits. Even when the rest of the house is warm, these rooms stay noticeably cooler. Some Amish homes are built with thick walls or extra roof overhangs to block any slanting light from sneaking in. Curtains are also kept light and loose, letting air move freely through open windows. It's all about smart placement. No AC unit could compete with this kind of planning. The sun is powerful, but with the right design, it doesn't have to control your comfort. And the Amish knew that long before blueprints had air vents. Keeping cool in summer isn't just for people, it's for animals too. In Amish communities, barns are built with more than hay and wood in mind. Some of them include clever fans powered entirely by windmills. These fans are placed near the top of the barn, where the hottest air collects. As the windmill spins, it turns the fan blades, pulling warm air up and out. At the same time, cooler air gets pulled in through open barn doors or side vents. This constant airflow helps animals stay calmer, healthier, and more comfortable. It also keeps the barn air from getting too thick or stale. There's no electricity needed, just wind and smart building. Some Amish even angle their barns to face the wind just right, making sure they get the best breeze. It's like a natural AC system, but built with wood, gears, and sky power. Quiet, steady, and totally free. For farmers, animals, and even kids working nearby, it's a breath of fresh air, literally. Sometimes the best cooling trick is hiding in plain sight, like a simple curtain. On the hottest days, Amish families use damp linen curtains to cool down rooms. It starts with a clean piece of linen, soaked lightly in cold well water. Then it's wrung out and hung right in front of an open window. As breezes pass through, they hit the wet fabric first. The water starts to evaporate, and as it does, it cools the air moving into the room. It's like nature's version of an air conditioner, but without noise or wires. Linen is perfect for this because it holds water just enough and dries slowly, keeping the cool effect going longer. Some families use this in bedrooms during afternoon naps or in kitchens when the oven's off, but the heat still lingers. The best part? It's easy to redo. Just soak, hang, and let the wind do its job. Simple cloth, a little water, and the breeze. That's all it takes to turn hot air into comfort. In the Amish world, keeping food cool without a fridge is an everyday skill. One of their oldest tricks? Clay crock coolers. These are small clay pots used to store things like butter, milk, or eggs, especially in summer when heat spoils food fast. Here's how it works. The item is placed inside the crock, then the outside is wrapped in a wet cloth. The whole thing is set in a shady spot, usually on a porch or in a root cellar. As the cloth dries, it pulls heat away from the pot through evaporation, cooling what's inside. Clay works great for this because it breathes, allowing moisture to escape slowly and evenly. Some crocks even have lids with small holes that let steam out without letting bugs in. It's a system that works best when there's a breeze and low humidity, but even on still days, it helps stretch how long fresh food stays safe to eat. No plugs, no plastic, just water, clay, and clever timing. Summer sun can feel like it's chasing you, especially when you're working outside all day. The Amish stay one step ahead with a simple tool: woven grass hats. These aren't just for show. They're carefully made from straw or dried grasses to give the perfect balance of shade and airflow. Wide brims protect the face, neck, and shoulders from harsh sunlight. But here's the smart part. The tiny spaces between the woven strands let heat escape from the head, which keeps the body cooler. Unlike baseball caps or thick hats, these straw hats never trap heat. They're light, comfortable, and even a little bendable, which makes them great for farm work, gardening, or walking to church. Men, women, and even kids wear them through summer. Some are shaped by hand and passed down through families. It's not just about style. It's about staying cool the natural way. No batteries, no sweatbands, just tradition, design, and a deep understanding of how to work with the sun, not against it. Cooking during summer can turn a house into an oven, but the Amish have a smart solution: the summer kitchen shed. This is a small building, usually made of wood, placed just outside the main house. It works just like a regular kitchen, with a stove, counter space, and storage, but it's totally separate. That way, when cooking or baking needs to be done, all the heat stays out of the home. No boiling pots or rising oven temps indoors. This keeps the main house cooler, especially in the afternoon when heat builds up fast. Some summer kitchens even have screens instead of walls, letting air flow through easily while keeping bugs out. Families use this space for canning, baking bread, or making big meals. Kids help too, since it's usually shady and breezy. Once the food is ready, it's carried inside to eat. Simple, smart, and built with purpose. These little sheds are proof that big comfort can come from small changes. Too much sun can ruin even the healthiest garden. That's why the Amish grow some of their vegetables in the shade, on purpose. Leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale can wilt fast in direct summer heat. To keep them fresh, Amish gardeners plant them under taller crops like corn or pole beans. They also use wooden frames or trellises with climbing plants to cast shadows on the greens below. This trick doesn't just cool the soil, it also keeps the leaves from burning or drying out. As a result, the veggies grow slower, but they stay crisp and tender longer. It's like giving the plants a little sun umbrella made from other plants. This method saves water too, since shaded soil holds moisture better. And it means families get better salads and soups without the worry of spoiled leaves. No sprays, no fans, just nature helping nature. It's thoughtful planting that shows just how well the Amish work with the seasons instead of fighting against them. When the sun is blazing and the house is already warm, turning on the oven can make it feel like you're baking along with the bread. That's why the Amish do their baking at night. Either after the sun goes down or before it rises, the kitchen comes alive with quiet work. Bread is kneaded, pies are shaped, and ovens are fired up, but only during these cooler hours. This simple change keeps the indoor temperature from rising too much during the hottest part of the day. It also means less sweat and less stress while working. Some families use wood stoves, which give off a lot of heat, so timing really matters. By sunrise, the baking is done, the kitchen cools down naturally, and the food is fresh and ready for breakfast. It's a rhythm that respects the season. Instead of pushing against the heat, they move around it, planning meals not just by hunger, but by the temperature of the air. In Amish homes, even the floor can help beat the heat. Many families build parts of their house with stone floors, especially in rooms where people spend lots of time, like sewing rooms, pantries, or entryways. Why stone? Because it holds coolness, especially if the house is shaded or has thick walls. Even on a hot afternoon, the stone feels cold to the touch. When people walk barefoot over it, it gives a refreshing chill. Some even sit or nap on the floor just to cool down faster. These floors are often made from slate, limestone, or smooth river rocks, depending on what's available nearby. They're tough, easy to clean, and naturally help lower the temperature of the room. No need for fans or fancy systems, just the solid ground doing its job. It's one more way the Amish let nature take the lead. Every brick, every tile, every smooth surface was chosen with care, not just for looks, but for how it helps the home breathe in summer. When the summer heat kicks in and barn chores won't wait, the Amish rely on small tricks that make a big difference. One of the simplest? Wetting a corner of an apron or handkerchief and tying it loosely around the neck. It's quick, easy, and powerful. The cloth, soaked in cold well water, presses gently against the skin. As the water starts to evaporate, it pulls heat away from the body, creating a cooling effect that spreads. It's not just about feeling good. It helps prevent overheating during heavy work like milking cows, shoveling hay, or repairing fences. Some also wet the ends of their sleeves or dab their foreheads with the same cloth. It's all about keeping cool with what's already on hand. No need to stop working, no need to plug in a fan, just a bucket of cold water, a piece of fabric, and a smart, simple habit passed down from one hardworking generation to the next. Most houses depend on air conditioners to move cool air through the rooms. The Amish, though, use the wind and smart window placement to do the same thing. It's called cross-ventilation. All it means is that opposite windows in a room are opened at the same time. When the wind blows in through one side, it pushes hot air out the other. It creates a constant breeze that cools the house naturally. No noise, no cost, just pure, fresh air moving in and out. Some Amish homes are even built with this in mind. Windows are placed so that they line up across long hallways or rooms to catch the best airflow. Families open the windows early in the morning or later in the evening when the outside air is cooler. Curtains are kept light or tied back to let the breeze move freely. It's a simple trick, but it works wonders, keeping the house livable and the air always moving, even during the hottest months. Root cellars aren't just for potatoes and jars of jam. In the summer, they become one of the coolest places, literally, in an Amish home. Built below ground and lined with stone or packed earth, root cellars are designed to stay cool year-round. That makes them perfect for more than food storage when summer heat becomes unbearable. Amish families sometimes use them as quiet spots to rest, read, or escape the midday sun. The air inside is still and cool, even when it's burning hot above. Some cellars are roomy enough for a small table, a few chairs, or a cot. Kids might bring books or board games down, and adults might take a short nap or sit quietly to cool off before going back to work. It's peaceful, dark, and always about 10 to 20 degrees cooler than the house. No fan needed, no electric light buzzing, just natural shade, earth cooling, and a clever way to beat the heat from below. During hot summer days, even the chairs we sit in can make us feel warmer. The Amish have found a simple fix: wicker furniture, made from woven strips of cane, reed, or willow. Wicker chairs and rockers let air move through the seat and back. That means less sticking, less sweating, and more comfort. Unlike padded sofas or plastic chairs that trap heat, wicker furniture breathes. It's lightweight too, so it can easily be moved to a shaded porch or under a tree. The gaps between the woven strands allow body heat to escape instead of getting trapped against fabric. Many Amish homes have wicker pieces that are handmade and passed down for generations. Some are even painted white or light gray to reflect sunlight better. In the summer, this kind of furniture becomes the favorite spot to sit, whether you're sewing, reading, or just taking a break. It's furniture designed not just for beauty, but for cool comfort all season long. Candles are part of daily life for the Amish, especially in homes without electric lights. But in the heat of summer, not just any candle will do. Candles made from animal fat, called tallow, can soften or even melt when rooms get too warm. That's why the Amish switch to tallow-free candles during the hotter months. These candles are often made with beeswax or plant-based waxes, which hold their shape better and don't give off a greasy smell in the heat. They burn cleaner and more steadily, even when the air is thick. Some families make their own, pouring wax into glass jars or dipping wicks by hand. These candles are usually stored in cooler spots like pantries or cellars until they're needed at night. It's one of those small details that shows just how closely the Amish pay attention to the seasons. Every material they use, right down to a simple candle, is chosen with care, shaped by experience, and ready to handle summer without melting down. When the sun beats down on a house, the heat sneaks in through the windows first, especially the ones facing south. But the Amish have a low-tech trick that keeps their homes cooler: tinfoil reflector boards. These are simple sheets of metal or foil, often tacked onto boards, that are placed just outside sunny windows. Their shiny surfaces bounce sunlight away from the glass, stopping heat before it gets inside. It's like giving the house a set of mirrors to deflect the sun. Some families place these boards at an angle to reflect light upward or onto the ground instead of into rooms. Others hang them on hooks so they can move them throughout the day, following the sun's path. They may not look fancy, but they work, and they cost next to nothing. With just a bit of foil, some wood, and smart timing, these reflector boards become one of the easiest ways to fight off heat without touching a thermostat or flipping a single switch. When the summer sun starts to feel heavy, the Amish don't turn to store-bought sprays or fancy cooling gadgets. Instead, they make their own herbal spritzers. These are simple mixtures made from cold water and cooling plants like mint, lemon balm, or even a splash of vinegar. After the herbs are steeped like tea, the water is strained and poured into small spray bottles. These bottles are then stored in coolers, ice boxes, or cold corners of the home. When someone's feeling overheated, they mist the spritzer onto their face, neck, or arms. The cool water helps right away, and the herbs add a refreshing scent and a natural tingle. Some families keep different blends for different needs: vinegar-based ones to stop itchiness, mint ones for energy, and lemon balm for calm. It's a safe, cheap, and chemical-free way to chill out on a hot day. These spritzers show that cooling down doesn't have to be loud or electric. It just needs a little garden wisdom and a spray of nature. When the air gets thick and heavy and even the shade feels warm, Amish families find relief in the simplest places, like the corner near a rain barrel. These barrels, placed under roof edges to collect rainwater, do more than just water the garden. On extra hot days, they become cooling stations. Buckets or dippers sit nearby so people can splash their hands, faces, and feet. The water inside is usually cold from being stored in the shade or underground, and it cools the skin fast. Some kids dunk their heads, while others just scoop and sit, letting the water drip down their arms and legs. It's not about swimming or soaking. It's about quick, refreshing relief. The barrels are often made of wood or metal, and sometimes herbs are added to keep the water clean. These splash corners are part of summer routines, reminding everyone that comfort can come from something as old and simple as rain in a barrel. When there's no fridge around, staying cool takes a little creativity, and the Amish have plenty of that. One clever trick they use involves everyday milk pails. These strong metal pails are filled with cold spring water straight from the ground. The temperature of spring water is often much colder than the summer air, so the pail becomes like a mini ice chest. Inside, the Amish place things like jars of cream, wedges of cheese, or small bottles of milk that need to stay fresh. Some even wrap items in cloth and tie them to the side of the pail, letting the cold water swirl around them. The pail is then placed in a shady spot, like under a porch or in a root cellar. It's quiet, easy, and doesn't require a single drop of electricity. In this way, the Amish keep their dairy safe and ready, all with the help of cold, moving water and metal that holds the chill like a charm. Summer nights in an Amish home can be just as hot as the days, especially when the air doesn't move. So instead of tossing and turning inside, many families sleep on their porches. But not just in chairs. They build wide, flat benches meant for sleeping. These benches are usually made from wood, and some even have cushions or woven mats for comfort. At night, the breeze is cooler outside, and the fresh air helps everyone sleep better. Kids love it. So do adults. It feels like camping, but with the comforts of home. Mosquito nets or light sheets are sometimes hung up to keep bugs away, and lanterns might glow softly nearby. The porch becomes a nighttime hideaway, where the wind replaces fans and the stars replace ceiling lights. It's peaceful, cool, and just another way the Amish let nature be part of their daily rhythm. No machines, no noise, just open space and the deep, quiet comfort of a night breeze. Bare feet and hot floors don't mix well in summer, but the Amish have found a beautiful solution that's as natural as it is comfortable. Rush mats. These thick mats are made by weaving dried river rushes, long, smooth grass-like plants, into strong, flexible panels. They're laid out over wooden or stone floors in the summer to give feet a cooler, softer surface. Because rushes are breathable and don't trap heat, they stay pleasant to walk on, even during the hottest parts of the day. Some families use them in bedrooms, sewing rooms, or by doors where people often stand. Others roll them up and store them away when the seasons change. The mats are made by hand, often in groups, using simple tools and traditional weaving patterns. They also add a fresh, natural scent to the home, especially when new. No plastic, no glue, just nature underfoot. It's a quiet comfort, helping every step feel cooler, softer, and a little more grounded. Even laundry needs a little shade during a scorching summer. While the sun is great for drying clothes, too much of it can make fabric stiff, faded, or even brittle. That's why some Amish families use what they jokingly call sun hats for their laundry lines. These aren't real hats, but lightweight linen or muslin covers that are stretched above the clotheslines like tiny awnings. They don't block the wind, but they soften the sunlight, casting a gentle shadow that protects the clothes. It keeps whites from yellowing, dark colors from fading, and delicate fabrics from wearing down too fast. The linen is tied to posts or tree limbs and is easy to take down and wash when dusty. It's a clever mix of shade and breeze working together to dry things just right. This method turns laundry day into an art, balancing sunlight with softness. No dryers, no damage, just patience, fabric, and a little Amish know-how overhead. In Amish homes, windows aren't just for letting light in, they're also used to cool the air. One old but brilliant trick involves placing earthenware pitchers filled with water on the windowsills. These clay pitchers are made from natural materials that stay cool longer than glass or plastic. As air flows in through the window, it brushes past the cool surface of the pitcher, slightly lowering the temperature of the breeze. Over time, a bit of moisture from the water also evaporates, adding just a little humidity to dry summer air, which can make the space feel more comfortable. Some families use this method in kitchens or bedrooms, placing the pitchers in the sun during the morning and moving them to shaded windows by afternoon. The water stays clean, the pitchers look beautiful, and the air feels a little fresher with every passing breeze. It's a tiny touch of comfort that requires no electricity, just pottery, water, and the wisdom to work with the wind. When cool night air finally rolls in, the Amish know how to hold on to it, by sealing it in. One way they do this is by using thick wool felt rolls or pads, known as window stuffers. In the early morning, before the sun starts heating things up, these felt pieces are pressed into the cracks around windows. Wool is great for this because it insulates well and fits tightly without falling apart. By plugging up these tiny spaces, the Amish prevent cool air from slipping out and hot air from sneaking in too early. Some families make their own felt stuffers by wrapping scraps of wool in cloth and sewing them into long, narrow tubes. Others roll up wool blankets to do the same job. It's a quiet step in the daily routine, often done right after breakfast. No need for foam strips or plastic seals, just soft, natural materials and a smart plan for keeping the inside cool as the summer heat begins to rise. The Amish never let useful things go to waste, not even the pits from cherries and peaches. After canning season, the leftover fruit pits are cleaned, dried, and saved to make something surprisingly helpful: cooling cushions. These small pads are sewn from cloth and filled with hundreds of smooth, rounded pits. The natural shape of the pits allows air to move through the cushion, keeping it cooler than regular stuffing. When placed in the shade or left in a cool room, they hold that chill and make perfect seat pads or small pillows for naps on hot afternoons. Some families even tuck them into beds before lying down, giving their bodies a cool place to rest. The cushions are flexible, firm, and make a soft crackling sound when moved. They don't trap heat like foam, and they don't need to be plugged in to work. Just clean pits, strong fabric, and the simple comfort of cold that lasts. It's recycling and relaxation all in one. In Amish architecture, the roof isn't just there to keep out the rain, it also plays a major role in cooling. Many Amish homes and barns are built with wide, sloped roofs that stretch out past the walls. These long overhangs create deep shadows along the sides of the house, especially during midday when the sun is strongest. These shadows fall over porches, windows, and walkways, keeping indoor spaces cooler and protecting outdoor spots where people gather or work. It's like having built-in sunshades that move with the sun. The slope of the roof also helps rainwater flow into barrels and makes room for high windows or vents that release warm air. Some families design their entire homes based on where the shade will fall each season. The result? Cooler walls, shaded entryways, and less direct sunlight blasting into rooms. No tarps, no blinds, just thoughtful building where the shape of the roof becomes a silent, reliable shield against summer's heat. When the air stands still and heat builds up, the Amish don't flip a switch. They reach for a willow-wisp fan. These simple fans are made by hand using thin, flexible branches from willow trees. The branches are bent and woven into a flat shape that can be used by hand or hung up in barns and porches to catch even the slightest breeze. Because willow is strong but bendy, these fans last a long time and don't break easily. During chores or long meetings, people quietly wave them back and forth to cool down. Some fans are plain, others are decorated with carved handles or stitched edges. In barns, they're sometimes tied to ropes so they sway in the wind or with movement, helping to circulate air for both animals and people. No noise, no batteries, no wires, just a natural branch turned into a cooling tool that's lightweight, handmade, and passed down through generations. Washing up is a daily part of life, but in summer, hot water indoors can make the whole house feel stuffy. So the Amish move their wash basins outside. Under trees or next to barns, they set up simple stations with buckets, basins, and soap. These spots are shaded and breezy, which helps people stay cool while they wash up after chores, meals, or gardening. The water comes from nearby pumps, wells, or rain barrels, and is often left to sit in the shade, making it cool but not freezing. Some wash basins are built into wooden stands, while others rest on flat stones. Families might brush their teeth there, wash their hands and faces, or even scrub laundry by hand. It keeps the house from filling with steam and lets everyone enjoy the fresh air while getting clean. It's another way the Amish bring the indoors outside, using the coolness of nature instead of heating up their living space. Simple, smart, and refreshing. Amish gardens are full of smart designs, and one of their most clever tricks is using walls not just for boundaries, but for shade. In areas where the afternoon sun is harsh, some families build tall stone or wooden walls along the edges of their garden plots. These walls aren't meant to block wind or keep animals out. Their main job is to cast deep shadows during the hottest part of the day. Crops that don't like too much heat, like lettuce, spinach, and herbs, are planted right in those shaded rows. As the sun moves, the shadow shifts, protecting the plants without cutting off light completely. The walls also help hold cooler air near the soil and reduce how fast water evaporates, which keeps plants from drying out too quickly. Some walls are made from piled field stones, others from old barn boards. Either way, they blend right in with the land, working silently and naturally to keep the garden cool, healthy, and thriving in the heat. Sometimes you want to enjoy the breeze but not bake under the sun, and that's where handheld shade screens come in. The Amish make these simple tools from small wooden frames stretched with light-colored cloth or muslin. They're easy to carry and perfect for sitting outside during chores, social visits, or quiet reading. When held just right, the screen blocks direct sunlight from the face and neck, but still lets the wind flow through. It's kind of like a mini personal sun umbrella, without the bulk. These screens are often handmade and passed around the family, with kids and adults using them on porches, wagon rides, or even while picking beans. Some are stitched with initials or trimmed in lace for a personal touch. They're quiet, gentle on the skin, and don't take up much space. No poles, no plugs, just fabric and shade, wherever and whenever it's needed. It's a small invention that makes a big difference in staying cool the Amish way. In Amish homes, oil lamps are a main source of light, but during summer, they can make a room feel even hotter. That's why some families switch to oil lamp alternatives when the air gets too warm. One favorite method is using sun jars. These are simple glass jars that sit outside all day, soaking up sunlight. The jars are filled with glow paint, mirrors, or even small solar lights that absorb the sun's energy. At night, they glow softly, just enough to light a small room or help guide someone in the dark. Because they don't use fire or burning oil, they don't add heat to the house. They also create a calm, gentle atmosphere that feels cooler and quieter than a flickering flame. Some families use them in bedrooms, while others place them along windowsills or in hallways. They're homemade, heat-free, and part of a growing set of smart ways to stay cool without sacrificing light or comfort. In the middle of summer, every little breeze matters. That's why the Amish sometimes hang canvas cloths inside their homes to act as room dividers. These aren't just for privacy, they help control where the airflow goes. If a window brings in a nice breeze, canvas can be used to block off unused parts of the house so the air moves directly into the space where it's needed most, like a kitchen, sewing room, or sleeping area. The canvas is often hung from nails or rods and can be rolled up or pulled aside when not in use. It's heavier than a curtain, but still lets a bit of air pass through without letting the coolness get lost in empty rooms. Plus, it adds a cozy look to the space and helps keep flies and dust from traveling too far inside. It's another example of how Amish homes are built and used with deep thought, always trying to make the most out of what nature gives. Sleeping during a hot summer night can be hard, especially with bugs buzzing around and windows wide open. To stay cool and protected, many Amish families use linen bed canopies. These canopies are made from light, breathable linen fabric and are hung from the ceiling or bedposts to surround the bed like a curtain. The linen lets air move freely while giving a soft sense of privacy and shade. It blocks out flying insects like mosquitoes and flies without trapping heat like thicker materials would. The canopy also creates a calm, cozy space that feels cooler than the rest of the room, especially if there's a soft breeze coming in through the window. During the day, the linen can be tied back or rolled up neatly. At night, it's pulled closed again for rest. It's not just a pretty decoration, it's a smart, natural way to sleep comfortably through warm nights, with nothing but fabric, breeze, and peace. What people wear to bed makes a big difference when it's hot out, and the Amish know that natural materials are the best choice. Instead of polyester or other synthetic fabrics, they wear nightgowns and sleep shirts made from flax, cotton, or wool blends. These natural fibers breathe better, letting air move through the fabric so body heat escapes more easily. Cotton is especially good for staying cool and absorbing sweat, while flax, from the linen plant, feels crisp and light. Even wool, when used in thin layers, can help regulate temperature by keeping heat out just as well as it holds it in during winter. Amish nightwear is usually loose-fitting, which allows air to circulate around the skin instead of sticking to it. The clothing is often hand-sewn, passed down through families, and kept clean with simple soaps. It may not look fancy, but it's soft, cool, and made for real comfort. Sleeping in natural fibers is like giving your body a break. Quiet, breathable, and perfectly suited for warm summer nights. Summer nights on the porch are peaceful until the bugs show up. Instead of reaching for sprays or electric bug zappers, the Amish use a traditional method that's both natural and effective: mosquito coal pots. These are small metal or clay pots filled with smoldering dried herbs like mugwort, sweetgrass, or sage. Once lit, the herbs give off a steady stream of smoke that keeps mosquitoes and flies away. It's gentle on people but strong enough to bother bugs. The pots are placed in corners of the porch or near doorways, where the breeze helps spread the smoke. Since there's no open flame, they're safer than candles and won't heat up the space like torches or lamps. Some families even use these pots indoors for short periods before bed, letting the room air out afterward. They're handmade, easy to refill, and smell earthy and clean. With no chemicals and no buzzing lights, it's just one more way the Amish keep things simple, safe, and summer-ready. Watering a garden in the middle of the day might seem like a good idea, but in summer, it's actually the worst time. The sun makes the water evaporate too fast, and the heat can shock the plants. That's why the Amish do their watering either before the sun comes up or after it goes down. These cooler hours allow the soil to absorb the water fully, letting it reach the roots without steaming off the surface. The ground stays moist longer, which helps plants grow strong and healthy even in dry spells. Some families carry water from rain barrels or use hand-pumped wells to fill metal watering cans. It's quiet work, often done barefoot in the early morning dew or under the soft light of the moon. It's also a peaceful way to begin or end the day, caring for the garden when the world is still calm. No hoses, no waste, just timing, care, and nature doing its best work while the rest of the world sleeps. When the heat makes indoor rooms feel stuffy, the Amish often take their rest outside, especially under the trees. One of their favorite warm weather comforts is a tree swing made for napping. These swings are hung from thick tree branches with wide, leafy canopies that cast cool, deep shade on the ground below. The swings are usually made from wood planks or sturdy cloth seats and are wide enough to lie down on. During summer afternoons, someone might bring out a pillow or light blanket and swing gently while they nap, read, or simply cool off. The breeze under the tree feels stronger, and the quiet swaying motion helps the body relax. It's nature's version of a hammock, simple but soothing. Kids and adults alike take turns using the swing throughout the day, and it becomes a favorite spot when the house is just too warm. No screens, no fans, just the shade of a good tree and the slow rhythm of a summer breeze. Windows let in light, but they also let in heat, especially in the middle of the day when the sun is at its strongest. To fight back against rising temperatures, Amish families often hang thin, old quilts over sun-facing windows. These aren't thick winter quilts. They're lighter, worn quilts that still have life left in them, perfect for blocking out harsh sunlight while adding an extra layer of insulation. Unlike sheer curtains that only soften light, quilts fully block it, helping to keep the room cooler and more comfortable. Some quilts are hung with clothespins or tacked directly to wooden frames, while others are stitched with loops for easy hanging. They also help cut down on glare and protect furniture and floors from fading. And when the sun moves, the quilts come down to let fresh air in again. It's a smart use of something every Amish family already has, turning old fabric into a powerful barrier against the heat without needing anything new or electric. Right after fruits and berries are picked from the garden or orchard, they're warm from the sun. If left that way, they can spoil quickly or get too soft. That's why the Amish use metal wash basins filled with cold spring water to cool their fresh harvests right away. The metal, often tin or steel, gets cold fast and helps lower the fruit's temperature just by touch. The cool water keeps everything crisp and slows down spoilage, especially before the fruit is canned, dried, or eaten. Families often place the basin under a shaded porch or tree and dip in handfuls of strawberries, cherries, or apple slices right from the basket. The cooling also washes away dust and tiny bugs naturally. Some people leave the fruit in for just a few minutes. Others soak it longer before prepping. It's a simple but smart step. No fridge needed, just metal, water, and timing to keep summer fruits fresh, flavorful, and ready to enjoy. Carrying milk, cream, or butter from the barn to the kitchen in the middle of a hot day can cause problems like melting, spoiling, or curdling. So the Amish create shaded paths called sun-sheltered dairy runs. These are walkways covered with arching trellises made from wood, vines, or climbing plants like beans and gourds. The plants grow thick and leafy, forming a cool green tunnel that blocks the sun and keeps the path underneath much cooler. This helps protect dairy products during the short trip from storage to the home. Some families also lay down straw or stone to keep the ground from getting too hot. The shade not only keeps the milk cool, but it also makes the trip easier on the person carrying it. Often, kids are the ones sent on these dairy runs, and they enjoy the short walk under a leafy cover. It's a clever mix of farming, design, and tradition that keeps food safe and families cool with nothing more than plants and planning. Keeping seeds safe and ready for the next planting season takes more than just tossing them in a jar. The Amish store their seeds with care, often using one of the coolest and quietest places in the house, the linen closet. This closet, packed with quilts, towels, and folded fabrics, stays dark and cool year-round, especially in older homes with thick walls. Seeds are sealed in paper envelopes or fabric pouches and tucked behind layers of linen to protect them from light, heat, and moisture. The natural insulation from the blankets helps keep the temperature steady, which is important for keeping seeds alive and strong for next year's crops. Some families even sort the seeds by type and season using hand-labeled bundles tied with string. No fridges, no fancy vaults, just smart storage in a space that's already part of daily life. It's another quiet way the Amish blend order, tradition, and resourcefulness into every corner of their homes. Oil lanterns are common in Amish homes, especially at night, but in the summer, even a small flame can add unwanted heat to a room. That's why some lanterns are built or adapted with tiny compartments below the flame to hold cool stones or ice. These compartments don't stop the lantern from working, but they do help reduce the warmth that spreads around it. Some families place a bit of crushed ice wrapped in cloth or smooth, chilled river stones into the compartment before lighting the wick. As the lantern burns, the cool material helps balance the temperature and keep the air from getting stuffy. This trick is especially useful in bedrooms or during late-night reading when the goal is soft light without a heat wave. It's a small detail, but it shows how the Amish think ahead and adjust their tools for every season. Light stays steady, heat stays low, and all it takes is a little cold in the right place. On hot summer days, stepping in from barn chores or gardening can leave a person sweaty, dusty, and overheated. To cool down fast without needing a full bath, Amish families keep buckets of cold water near the door. These buckets are filled with well water or spring water, which stays cool naturally even when the air is hot. As soon as someone comes inside, they stop for a quick splash, wetting their wrists, neck, and temples. These areas have a lot of blood flow close to the skin, so cooling them down helps lower body temperature quickly. It's a fast, refreshing way to reset before heading into the house or sitting down for a meal. Some even keep a towel nearby to dry off or wipe their face. This little habit keeps people from bringing heat into the home and gives an instant chill without using a fan or AC. Just a bucket, clean water, and a smart spot by the door. That's all it takes. Working in the summer heat takes stamina, and the Amish use natural tricks to stay cool while they work. One favorite method? Homemade evaporative towels. These are long strips of cotton or linen cloth dipped in water mixed with a splash of vinegar. Once wet, the towels are draped over the shoulders, across the back of the neck, or tied around the forehead. As the water begins to evaporate, it pulls heat away from the skin, creating a cooling effect. The vinegar helps the towel stay cool longer and adds a slight tingle that feels extra refreshing. These towels are often used during outdoor tasks like haying, fence repair, or long walks to the fields. They can be re-dipped as often as needed, and some families keep a bowl of vinegar water nearby just for that purpose. No batteries, no sprays, just fabric, water, and a bit of old-fashioned know-how to stay calm, cool, and focused under the sun. In the summer, getting hot air out of the house is just as important as keeping cool air in. That's why the Amish sometimes use a special chimney trick, wind trap chimney caps. These are custom-made tops placed on chimneys that catch passing breezes and help pull warm air up and out of the house. It works like a natural vacuum. As hot air rises, the wind flowing through the chimney cap boosts the movement, helping remove stale, heated air from the upper rooms. This creates a gentle pull, which also draws in cooler air through lower windows and doorways. It's part of a passive cooling system that doesn't require fans or electricity. The caps are usually made from metal or wood, shaped in a way that channels the wind just right. They're simple, silent, and built to last through seasons. With just air movement and smart design, the Amish keep their homes feeling fresh and breathable, even when the summer sun won't quit. Hot days don't stop Amish families from spending time outside, but they do choose where they sit wisely. Many patios, porches, or outdoor gathering spots are paved with thick clay bricks. These bricks aren't just for looks. They have a special ability to stay cooler than concrete or wood, even in full sun. During the night, they absorb cool air, and throughout the day, they slowly release that chill underfoot. That makes them perfect for barefoot sitting, stretching out after chores, or letting kids sprawl with books or snacks. The surface feels firm but gentle, and it doesn't burn skin like sun-baked pavement. Clay is a natural material that breathes, and when it's laid over packed earth or sand, it becomes a strong but flexible surface. Some patios are edged with flowers or herbs that add shade and fragrance. The result? A peaceful, cool space that's part garden, part living room, all without a single machine. Just earth, bricks, and a little evening breeze. In a world rushing toward faster, louder, and more electric, the Amish quietly remind us that staying cool doesn't have to mean plugging in. From shaded garden paths to barefoot brick patios, from wind-trapped chimneys to buckets of spring water by the door, every one of these 50 tricks is built on wisdom passed down, not wired in. They don't just survive the summer, they live it with grace, with grit, and with a kind of calm the modern world forgot. These methods aren't just about keeping cool, they're about staying connected to the land, to the season, to the rhythms that never needed a power switch. Which trick surprised you the most? Which one would you try first? Scroll down and drop your answer in the comments. We'd love to hear what inspired you. And if this peek into timeless summer living made you think twice about the hum of your AC, hit subscribe. More stories like this are waiting, filled with forgotten wisdom that still works. Because sometimes the old ways are the coolest.